enjoy it. And so it was about 4 decades ago, at the age of 17, that this Texas teen came to Ghana as an exchange student. He asked to be taken to a country where he would normally not visit. He stayed in Ghana for 3 months and made lifelong friendships that have stood the test of time. He's back here in Ghana and will tell us his own story, starting from back in the day when there was no internet. And he's here with his wife. So that's likely to be the double dose. So John Vincent Mena, former exchange student, and Karen Kryjak, wife. You're welcome. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Ghana, and you welcome to Ghana.
Thank you.
So, Jay, I'll call you Jay. Yeah. Jay is fine.
Jay is good.
Okay, so a young teen of 17, what propelled you to the shores of Ghana? Why Ghana?
I told the exchange student people to send me someplace that all the other exchange students weren't going.
Yeah?
I didn't want to go to France. I didn't want to go to Germany, and that seemed where everybody wanted. And they gave me the paper and they said, you're going to Ghana. And I had no idea where it was. And there was no internet, so I had to run to the encyclopedia and look up Ghana. So that's all I knew. And I met one Ghanaian before I left. Okay. And then we arrived at the airport.
Okay, and so tell us your journey. When you arrived at the airport, what was
Oh my gosh, that was, it was, back, Accra wasn't as developed as I see it now. And it was dark, and we came driving up the road, and there were all the kerosene lamps. And my first night, the windows were open, and in the neighbor's yard, there was a baby goat was born. And it sounded to me like a crying baby. Oh. So I spent my first night in shock, thinking there was a baby dying in the backyard.
Oh, how sad.
It was okay. It was, but so I didn't know where I'd come to. I didn't know what place this was. But over time, there were lots of challenges, but it grew in my heart.
Okay, so your first night in Ghana, where did you stay?
In South Odoko.
South Odoko?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we drove through South Odoko 2 days ago, and it looks nothing like it.
Yeah? What are some of the changes?
Well, there's all the houses are so much bigger, and there's so many more houses, and there's no chickens at a Kokofoto anymore.
A Kokofoto?
Oh, Kokofoto. Do you know?
No way. Yes.
There used to be chickens there.
Yes, a Kokofoto.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. Okay, so how do you see the country? How did you see the country then and now? I mean, 5 days. You came to Ghana, back to Ghana 5 days ago, no?
Yeah, 5 days ago. So
when you touched down on the airport,
completely different.
Yeah.
The airport is completely modern. Mm-hmm. It was not air conditioned back then. What I told Karen, we're getting off the plane, there's a jetway now. And back then we had to walk down and walk across the tarmac, and you were all excited. My memory, sometimes your memories are foolish. And I thought, well, this isn't Ghana. But it's completely changed.
Right.
It's much more developed.
Okay. So while you were in Ghana, which places did you stay? Where did you visit?
I stayed at UST Kumasi.
Oh, you're in Kumasi.
For some time.
Okay.
I spent some time in Kofridwa.
Okay,
a lot of time in Abasa.
Okay,
and then of course South Odoko and Dansuman.
Okay, so let's start. What were some of the memories you can share with us from Abasa?
I'm very glad to see there were some children with large bellies from malnutrition, and that was heartbreaking. Okay. And I don't see that at all anymore. Mm-hmm. And now that we pulled into Abasa 5 days ago, there's a beautiful soccer field, and there was a soccer tournament, and I couldn't imagine, but there's power and water and all the modern conveniences in Abasa now, and back then there were none.
Okay. So while you were living in Abasa, which family did you stay with?
David Sam.
Yeah, David Sam. Yeah. Have you seen him? Are you in contact with him?
Yes. I saw him, and he's rather elderly now. Okay. And it was good to meet him, and his wife, my mother, who I call Mommy. Yeah. Mommy was. I remember her. She was always cooking. She was always cooking, and to her right-hand side she would make yam balls, and I loved the yam balls. And 43 years later, I came in, and she's still in the kitchen, still with the pot next to her, and she made me yam balls.
Awesome stuff, awesome stuff. Well, how about transportation back then, 43 years ago? How did you maneuver around?
We rode a lot of trotro. Yeah? Yeah. But the traffic wasn't so bad. It's unbelievable here, the number of cars. And it was, but back then it was just troto or bus to between cities. And I think I flew one time to Kumasi on Ghana Airways, which I don't think exists anymore.
No, it doesn't. Okay. There was no internet back then.
Oh, no.
So what was it like for you socially?
Well, you made closer friends because it was the boys in the neighborhood. And there was no contact with the United States, no being home. I got one letter from my parents. My father is rather a bit of a prankster, and my mother said he must send me a letter. So he wrote the letter R on a piece of paper, and that's all I got from my father the entire time was one letter, and it was the letter R.
Right. How about the food, John? How about the food?
Some of it was challenging, and some of it, I missed so much.
Okay, which ones?
Well, the fufu in America is different.
Okay,
they make it from potato paste and not from cassava, and of course they don't pound it. Like I said, I fell in love with yam balls. And
yes, indeed. Can you make yam balls?
Oh, I can't get the ingredients to this day.
Okay. Maybe you should try making it before you go back.
Oh yeah, I had the first night I was here. I think I ate 8 or 9, and yeah, it was too much, but it was pent up demand, right? So.
Right. Karen, let me bring you into the conversation. I believe you must have spoken about Ghana a lot while, I mean, you two are together.
A whole lot.
Yeah?
All the time.
What were some of the things that he told you that you weren't, you were surprised maybe when you came to Ghana that had changed, or some of the things that he said to you that you came and you saw that it was real?
He talked a lot about mommy and daddy and the relationship that he had with his brother and sister, and the relationship that still exists today and how strong it was. And it is definitely true. It is very, very strong. And definitely true, the yam balls are very, very
you
good.
You had yam balls
Oh,
too.
yes,
How many balls did you have?
I think I only had like 3, maybe 4.
Well, he had 9.
Yeah, he had 9. He was very full for 2 days.
Right, so your first time in Ghana, what's the experience like for you personally?
I've enjoyed it. I have thoroughly enjoyed it. The people are so friendly and they always smile.
That's it.
Always smiling.
That's
and it's such a joy because then it makes you smile.
That's it. So where have you visited since you've been here? Which places have you visited? I hear you've been around a lot.
We went to the village.
Basa, yeah.
Yeah, so you went to Abasa.
Yeah, and we drove. We went to church on Sunday, so we drove the old neighborhood.
Okay.
You'll have to refresh me the name.
Sothodoko and Dansuma.
Okay.
Mount Olivet Church.
While you were here, 43 years ago, you attended Mount Olivet.
No.
Okay, good.
Mount Olivet is 50 years this week, but I didn't know it was there then.
Okay. So what was the experience like in church?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
The children, I was so impressed. We're so articulate and so comfortable speaking in front of a choir. And it was their jubilee, so it was a children's week. So it was, children are always lovely.
Yeah.
And everybody just was happy. It's joyful.
Right. Have you visited any of our castles?
Yes, we were there yesterday.
Okay. Which one? Which castle?
Well, yesterday we went to Elmina Castle.
Okay.
I had been there twice prior.
Okay. Yeah.
It was the second time I went there was no one there. We just walked in and explored on our own, and went down into the dungeons by ourselves, and it was not lit, and it was very, very scary, very scary.
But 43 years later, it's lit.
Well, there's a gate and a tour guide, and it was almost abandoned. It was really strange 43 years ago.
But that's better.
There was one gentleman, and I don't know who he was to this day, but he seemed to be a caretaker in the castle, but he was very knowledgeable. And I think I learned more because it was just 2 of us or 3 of us, and I think it took us 4 or 5 hours to go around then, whereas now the tour is maybe an hour or 2. Yeah. It's kind of short, and there's lots of people. So.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And so when are you leaving Ghana?
Tomorrow, late night.
Yeah, we're leaving very quickly because we didn't know what to expect.
Okay.
And it was. I feel very foolish because, I lost my family for 43 years.
Your Ghanaian family.
My Ghanaian family for 43 years, and having just found them. So I wasn't sure what to expect. So I didn't want to impose on them, but now we know. We just...
Okay, so now you know they're
we're
fine.
Comfortable. We're comfortable.
Yeah, you know they're okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So when are we expecting you back? Anytime soon?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I don't know
Definitely.
exactly when, but it'll be in the next 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
It won't be 43 more years.
No more. No, 43 is too long. I'm curious, what do you do for work?
I write software for insurance companies.
Okay.
Yeah, the town we come from, Austin, Texas, is a big technology hub, so we write a lot of software.
Awesome stuff. How about you, Karen?
I work next to him a little bit and am basically retired now, so I can travel.
That's awesome. And we're hoping you get back soon, and then maybe you tell us more. You visit more places. And then you tell us more.
I dream of going to Bolgatanga and Tamale. I have not been there yet.
Now, T.T. Sider said he could be, one of our presenters here would be a good host to take you over there.
Fantastic.
Yeah? It's been amazing chatting with you, Jay.
Thank you.
And Karen.
Thank you.
Anything else you want Ghanaians to know?
Oh, gosh, it's just that, here it's... I've forgotten how pleasant the people in Ghana are. And America's all wound up, and people here just take time to relax and don't sweat the little things. So I hope they never lose that.
Yeah, hope that too. How about you, Karen?
I
your
would
first
echo
visit to
that.
Ghana, what has been your impressions you're taking back?
One big thing is that Americans should really just be happy with what they have. I mean, we have a beautiful country as well, and it's a shame that they're not as joyful as Ghanaians. It really, that has such an impact on me, is the joy that just from the village to the city to even the streets, there's just a thread of joy running through everyone.
We love that we bring you joy. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. John Vincent Mena is a former exchange student. He was in Ghana when he was 17, and that was 43 years ago. And he spent 3 months in Ghana. He loved it. He's been back. He's back here. He found his family in Abasa, and he came with his wife, Karen, who has had an amazing and pleasant visit to Ghana as well. And so we are hoping he'll come back and share the goodies of Ghana with the rest of the world. And so John Vincent Mena has been our guest, and his wife, Karen Kryjak.
Yes.
And they have been our guest, guys. Across social media, we are GTV Ghana. The show is still active at GTV Breakfast. On WhatsApp is 055-5561034. There's a conversation coming up next. And the next conversation is a political conversation. We'll take a quick break.
Some days are good, some days are bad. So don't worry if you don't turn out good. Don't be sad, be